Good evening and welcome to Real Talk, where every Sunday night we offer insight, education, and resources to in-home caregivers and those affected in their world. This is for the children, the parents, the extended family, and everyone who loves them. Our goal is to offer real-life topics and learning through discussing real issues and offering real solutions. And tonight, I'm especially excited to welcome our guest, Haydee Corona, who is a force to be reckoned with in the newborn care specialist world. She is constantly educating herself, constantly learning a variety of new things, and is doing some amazing things to really change how the Latino community experiences things in the NCS world. And she's doing it in such a positive way. So I'm really excited because the Latino community in particular is a large and important and growing segment of the newborn care specialist community. And we have been very proud to have gotten to be a part of Haydee's journey and then to watch her really just launch into the things that she wanted to do. And so we're going to talk to her tonight kind of about that journey, where she came from, what she's gone through to get to the success level she's at right now, and what her hopes and dreams are for where this is going to go. So I know that she's going to have some great things to share with you, and you are going to love hearing from Haydee tonight. So before we kind of get into our topic tonight, Haydee, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll kind of talk about your journey in the NCS world.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to thank you because you invited me to this interview. It's really fun for me, and I really appreciate that I can share with everyone, especially with the Latino community, my experience, especially when I was a nanny, going through this journey, going to newborn care specialist and postpartum doula, which we're going to talk a little bit later. Well, first of all, I'm originally from Mexico. I came to the United States when I was 18 years old. And my first job was a nanny. So that's when I started being a nanny. I loved it that time, but I said, no, I think I want to change it. So I started doing different jobs from that time to 12 years ago when I did my transition to newborn care specialist. In that time, it was different than now. So it was so different. But I love it. So in between nanny and my other jobs, I was going back and forth, nanny, and then find a different job and then back and forth. So I really enjoyed that stage of me being a nanny, but also I was looking for something else. So yeah.
Absolutely. That I love that you started as a nanny, but you've always, and I've known this from the minute I first met you, you've always had this drive to be the very best that you could be. And for you, that kind of transitioned about 12 years ago, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. What made you decide you wanted to transition to doing newborn care specialist work? And you made a great point. Things were a lot different even just 12 years ago in our industry than they are now. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, like I mentioned, like back then, being a nanny was like just, it was kind of like the first job a lot of Latinas have, especially even if in your country you have like a degree or you have a career. Sometimes when you come to the USA, the lack of the language makes you go through either housekeeping or nanny, which is not bad. But usually when you start working like that, when you go to a house and be a nanny, it's like you're gonna do all these chores, like cleaning, cooking, taking care of the kids. It was more like a housekeeping nanny. Mm-hmm. We never thought about like moving to the next step, which is now. That's why I see a big difference now. When I was working with a family, I was doing babysitting on the weekends. And I met this newborn care specialist here in Orange County. And she introduced me to be a newborn care specialist. She also said, you know what, you're really good with babies. You're really good with kids. Or you like to, do what I'm doing. And I said, what is this? So when she explained a little bit what was the job, I said, well, it's not too bad. The only issue that I found it was overnight. So I said, you know what? I want to do it daytime if it's possible. So she introduced me to be a new worker specialist daytime. So that's when I get a little bit of curious about it, and I started doing research. Back in that time, like 12 years ago, there was not a lot of new worker specialists. New worker specialist, it was not even a name. Even postpartum doulas, they were not too popular. So I started getting curious. The only thing I didn't like was the overnight shift. So I said, I don't know, I'm going to think about it. So it was back and forth doing research. When I started doing research, I found some classes, some training. I said, I'm going to take it. I want to see if I like it. And then that's when I started my journey to be a new worker specialist. But it was by accident. It was not like I want to be a new worker specialist. Back then, like again, the families, they were expecting you as a nanny to do cleaning, housekeeping, take care of the kids. Now, I see a huge difference. Thank you for all these groups and organizations that now, even for the internet, that right now they're like popping up, which is give you all the tools for the nannies that they now can turn the nanny as a career. It's not like just a job. It's not like you come into USA and, I want to be a nanny because I don't have any other job. Now you can turn a nanny a career, which is great. And I say, if I knew all this that is happening now back in that time, maybe I will not be a new worker specialist. Maybe I will be a nanny because, it's a lot of trainings, classes, a lot of research, a lot of organization, which is great, a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of support. Even for the new worker specialist, it's amazing all the support that we get now. Even 12 years ago, it was no new worker specialist support group, which is great. That's why I'm so into like do research, see what's going on in the group, taking as many classes as I can, because being a new worker specialist is not just be a new worker specialist as a name. It comes with a lot of trainings on the background. You always have to be learning. That's one of my goals. Like I always keep myself like learning, especially with the childcare services, because at the end we are taking care of babies from 0 to 6 months. So we have to make sure that we know everything about newborns, about child development, working with families. We have to make sure that we have to adjust to the family's philosophies. So it's been a long journey, but I'm really happy because I've been learning a lot, and I'm keep learning every single day, every month. I'm looking for information.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've seen that about you for a few years now. That every time I turn around, you're talking about classes that you're taking, and you've taken classes with us. One of the things that you is critically important in our industry, and I'm wondering if it is something that you feel is really valuable to the Latina community as well, which is that community support, the support groups, things like that. Do you see that as something that is valuable to our industry and to the Latina community?
Yes. The childcare services is been for long time ago. It's been for years. We know the nannies are from back in the, in the old times. Even for the, rich people, the nanny was always for rich people who hire a nanny to take care of the kids. Now, with these new generations, the millennials, they're looking the same, but now they have a different idea. That's what I noticed, especially with the new generations of parents. Now they're expecting the nanny be also an educator. So that's why it's very important that the Latino community, besides we give the families like that support of warmth, taking care of the kids, giving them love, because this is natural. Every nanny, that's the first characteristic that a nanny has. Work with the family because they want to make sure the kids feel comfortable, feel love, feel trust, feel care. But now the new generation of parents, they're expecting that the nanny is not, any race, a Latino, American, from the Caribbean, from the islands. They want the nannies have a little bit of more education. And that's good. I don't see anything wrong with that. Sometimes, unfortunately, because we come from countries that were, especially like Mexico or South America, we think, no, I just want to work, I just want to take care of the kids, and that's it. But unfortunately now, the new generation, they expect you to give more. And it's not bad, because if you put it this way, having a little bit extra classes, training, education give you more, you can charge a little bit more. You give you more value to yourself. So I see the Latino community is a change. Before, again, they were still like housekeepers. Now they see like, oh, but you went to college. Oh, that you take your specialist training. Oh, you did the sleep training, which is great, because they know that they bring into the family. They know what to do in emergency. They know what to do with their child. They know how to work with the child, activities, ideas to do with the kids. If they have a newborn, they can hire a nanny, to make sure the nanny is going to take care of routines, diaper change, safe to sleep. So that for me is very important, that the Latinas now, we do the switch. Take a different mind. No matter how old you are, if you're young or you're old, but you can still learn it, because it's not difficult. It's just putting yourself like, I want to learn. Open your mind to learn.
Right. And I'm wondering too, if you would agree with me on this. I find that with our students, one of the things that they tell us is, aside from the fact that they can earn more, but that they go into the job with more confidence, and that they feel more confident about doing the job. And I'm a huge proponent that when you approach something with confidence, you get treated differently than if you approach it and you're kind of timid and shy and whatever. And so to me, that confidence is a huge component. Do you agree with that?
I agree with you, Tonya. And this is very important, because when you learn something new, you give yourself like a confidence, like, wow, I learned how to do a diaper change properly, And then when I walk in the door and I have an interview with these parents, they are sure that they're having someone who can do the things properly. And if they don't, they have the research to share with the families and say, you know what, the AAP, the American Academy of Pediatricians, says, diaper change has to be this way. So this is why I really encourage all my friends, especially the nanny community, that, just keep learning. No matter what small class you take. Sometimes there's nutrition class, massage class, tummy time class. It will give you a value to you. So next time you go to an interview, you have the experience, but you also have the knowledge. And if you put it together, if you were gaining, I don't know, I just want to say an amount, $12, now you can go and raise your rate, because you can explain to the parents, because I learn and I know what I'm doing with your kids.
So one of the things that I want to ask you about today in particular is, how do you see the need for the Latina community to really be part of the growth and the future of the childcare industry and the doula industry and the NCS industry? I see it as a huge impact. I want to know what your thoughts are.
I see that too. And I'm really happy that all these groups, Facebook group, organizations, they're really into support the nanny, the newborn care specialist, and the doula world. We are really, the families really need the support of this type. We know in our country, even independent to be from South America, but in every other country, when I do a research, the doula is really needed in the first 40 days. The nanny is really needed when the baby is already 3 months, because if the parents work, they want to make sure the baby is safe. So the nanny career, the doula career is not going to end. This is not like a robot is going to come and they're going to do the job. No. So this is why it's so important that we keep encourage each other, and we keep support each other, because this is going to go far. Right now, USA and Europe is the ones more that you use nannies and childcare providers, and also doulas. But eventually, this is going to grow. This one is going to go out of the USA. I hear some in like Dubai, they're requesting nannies too. It's not like travel nanny. They're requesting nannies too. So we're kind of like growing so big that the other countries are adjusting, and they want us to. So I think it's very important for everyone to know that this is growing and it's not going to end. Even in the pandemic time, parents still need a nanny. So this is amazing. It's amazing because, it's incredible.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I will tell you, just last year, I went to a pediatric sleep conference up in Seattle, and probably, I would guess, 20 to 25% of the attendees were from outside the United States. They were people from other countries where this industry is just starting to grow. And there were people that were there from Mexico City. There were people that were there from Guatemala. There were people that were there from South America. And there were a couple people that were there from Europe. One gal that was there, I think, from Japan. I'm not positive. But there were a lot of attendees from outside the US. And I will tell you, for us as a company, we're seeing more interest and more growth in areas outside the US as well. So I absolutely agree with you, Haydee. I think this is just growing. And yeah, the pandemic, everybody thought, oh, we're all going to be out of work. And for a little while it happened. But then parents realized really quickly how valuable those nannies were. And I have seen some negative things, but I've also seen some really good things starting to come out of this situation. So I absolutely agree with you. Where do you think things are going to go in terms of what do we need to think about in working for private families in the future? Do you think it's going to grow here in the U.S. as well? Or do you think more of the focus may be outside the U.S.?
I think we have to think out of the box. And then this is the great thing about the Latino community. And it's good to mention, I focus on Latino community because I'm from Mexico, I'm Latina, and I know I have a lot of friends who are from South America. But I know there's nanny from around the world. It's not just Latinas. But this is a good thing about us. We're bilingual. And all traditions, we bring it with us and we put it together, either nanny or newborn care specialist or doula. So we are amazing because eventually this is what parents outside of US, they're looking also. You know, they're really respectful about, you know, if a nanny make a chicken soup from their country to the kids, even the parents eat it because they love that connection. They love the bonding. So we have a lot of things, a lot of good things us to give to everyone. So that's why I said, you know, don't be ashamed if you feel like, oh, I'm from a little town in Mexico and I don't want nobody knows. I'm like, no, be proud of it because you have to give something to your career as a nanny or as a childcare provider. You know, this is a good thing about being a nanny and a doula. I know a lot of doulas who do like a different training from their country, like the quarantine, which is really important. You know, they quarantine in a different countries, but not in the USA. So they're trying to introduce also that. So this is a good thing about being a childcare provider. But especially for nannies, if they're working with kids, I always, you know, encourage them to know about more, you know, to learn about more. Don't be scared to take a class of activities for kids or child development. We need to understand the children. And if it's a newborn care specialist, it's also because we have to know a baby, how they react, what are the stages, the milestones. So it's not just go walk in the door and say, okay, I know how to change a diaper and that's it. No, we have to know the baby. And then we have to explain to the parents, especially new parents, that they're expecting that we know a little bit more than them.
I love that you brought up the benefit to the children and to the family. And ultimately, you and I both know, because working with kids is our passion, the benefits that ultimately progress out from that, like ripples in the pond to our society, with an understanding and an appreciation and respect for people who come from different cultures and bring different traditions, different ideas, different beliefs. I think those things are so critical to enhancing who we are as individuals, to the children that we're caring for, And those ripples do spread out, and ultimately it's going to have a positive impact on our culture and our society here in the US. Love that you brought that up, Haydee, because I'm with you 100%. There's so much value in that. And it has always been a passion of mine to really expose my children and any children that I was caring for to a variety of backgrounds, a variety of cultures, and a variety of different perspectives. It, I believe, at the very core of who I am, makes a huge difference.
Sure it is.
Yeah. So is there anything else before we finish up tonight? Anything else that you want to leave our audience with? One big takeaway that you want to share with them?
I just want to say thank you. It was really nice to have this space and then explain a little bit about what the importance of keep educating ourselves. Also, I want the childcare providers, nannies, newborn care specialists, doulas. Sometimes we see the classes like, oh my God, this is it's a lot. But if it's it's gonna help you in your career, it's gonna help in your job. Take it. Don't hesitate to say, oh no, I'm gonna leave it for 10 years later. No, the impact of our community, they're growing so fast. They're like you meet someone and it's like, oh, I take this class, and I'm gonna take next class. So wanna be now, like, for example, your classes that you have a great classes. I take all of them. So it's like the classes are really great for opportunity to take it online or take it in person. So there's no way to say no, I don't want to do it. So I really, really encourage all the community to take classes, educated, and being part of these organizations, which are really great with articles and support.
Absolutely. And thanks for what you said about our bring quality material. So I'm going to totally put you on the spot. Is there anything that you'd like to share with our viewers, but share it in Spanish with them?
Oh, okay. Bueno, me dio mucho gusto haber estado con ustedes. Espero y haber compartido y haberles dado un mensaje. Yo soy creyente de que la educación es bien importante. Nos va a ayudar bastante, especialmente como niñeras, como newborn care specialist y como doula. No paren de educarse ni tomar clases. Va a ser bien importante para un futuro.
Perfect. Thank you. And I wish that my Spanish was good enough that I understood all that.
You will, Tanya. You need to learn Spanish. The Latino community is huge.
Yes, I know it is. Trust me, we're working on some solutions to reach that. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, Haydee. It is with us on here. It's been an honor to have you as a student of our company. But most of all, it's been an honor to learn from you tonight. And I love that you've shared so many really valuable takeaways. For those of you who are watching, and for those of you who might see this on replay, if you have questions for Haydee, if you'd like to learn more about her journey, if you have questions for where you might need to go, put them in the feed. And we will make sure that we get you answers. If Haydee can't answer them right away, we'll reach out to her and make sure that she knows there's more questions. And tag Haydee or tag us at Newborn Care Solutions. There'll be a lot of information about Haydee in the feed as well. And we'll make sure that you get that information. And if you are interested in catching any of our past Real Talk episodes, along with accessing our other content, hop over to newborncaresolutions.com and click on the Education tab. You can there, include every past Real Talk, and this one will end up there as well. So thank you for joining us, and have a great evening.